Hi, boys and girls. This week I thought that we would focus on a book that has chapters in it. And I thought I would spend this week looking at the different chapters in this book. There are 5 chapters in this book, and I picked this book. It's called Frog and Toad Are Friends. And each day I will pick a different chapter in this book to read to you. And what I want to focus on this week is after I read the story, I want you to work with mom or dad or someone at home on retelling the story using your retelling hand. This is our retelling hand. Let's review it. Your thumb is the characters. Your pointer finger is the setting. Here is the beginning of the story, the middle of the story, and the ending of the story. And then our palm is the heart of the story. You will tell mom or dad a connection that you can make to the story, whether you can connect to another book, connect to something that happened to you in your life, or something that happened in our world. So after I read the story today, I want you to use your retelling hand and retell the story to someone at home. Okay, so listen carefully to all those things that you may hear in the story. Listen for the characters, the setting, the beginning, the middle, and the end, and making a connection. So our first story today is called Spring. Frog ran up the path to Toad's house. He knocked on the front door. There was no answer. Toad, Toad, shouted Frog. Wake up! It is spring. Blah, said a voice from inside the house. Toad, Toad, cried Frog. The sun is shining. The snow is melting. Wake up! I am not here, said the voice. And it sounds like Toad does not want to wake up. Frog walked into the house. It was dark. All the shutters were closed. Toad, where are you? Called Frog. Go away, said the voice from a corner of the room. Toad was lying in bed. He had pulled all the covers over his head. Frog pushed Toad out of bed. He pushed him out of the house and onto the front porch. Toad blinked in the bright sun. Help, said Toad. I cannot see anything. Don't be silly, said Frog. What you see is the clear, warm light of April, and it means that we can begin a whole new year together, Toad. Think of it, said Frog. We will skip through the meadows and run through the woods and swim in the river. In the evenings, we will sit right here on this front porch and count the stars. You can count them, Frog, said Toad. I will be too tired. I am going back to bed. He's pretty grumpy. Toad went back into the house. He got into the bed and pulled the covers over his head again. But Toad, cried Frog, you'll miss all the fun. Listen, Frog, said Toad. How long have I been asleep? You've been asleep since November, said Frog. Well then, said Toad, a little more sleep will not hurt me. Come back again and wake me up at about 1/2 May. Good night, Frog. And he went back to bed. Frog, I think, is pretty frustrated right now. But Toad, said Frog, I'll be lonely until then. Toad did not answer. He had fallen asleep. Frog looked at Toad's calendar. The November page was still on top. Frog tore off the November page. He tore off the December page, and the January page, the February page, and the March page. He came to the April page. Frog tore off the April page too. Look at all the pages on the floor. Then Frog ran back to Toad's bed. Toad, Toad, wake up! It is May now. What? Said Toad. Can it be May so soon? Yes, said Frog. Look at your calendar. Toad looked at the calendar. The May page was on top. Why, it is May, said Toad as he climbed out of bed. Then he and Frog ran outside to see how the world was looking in the spring. And looks like they're both happy together. Now, that's the end of this story in this chapter book. Next time, I will read the next chapter in this book. But for today, remember, I want you to talk with someone at home and retell this story using your retelling hand. Remember what we talked about at the beginning of the story and have fun retelling the story with someone at home. Thanks, I'll see you again soon, boys and girls. I miss you.